Hey Megamaniacs, it's Mr. MegaManFan. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. You know all the things to do. Got a couple of packages here today for an edition of Breaking the Seal. And these are both going to be PlayStation Vita releases. And I think they're both from East Asia Soft, although I could be wrong about that. We'll know for sure in a minute. But when I say Breaking the Seal, I mean that we're actually going to open these games and look at the contents. And then at the very end of the video, I will actually add some gameplay footage. But these collections are going to be opened. They're not just going to sit in their shrink wrap. That's what Breaking the Seal is all about. This first one is Kawaii Deathu Desu. And there was a two-part reason I was interested in this. First, Japanese culture, because obviously kawaii means cute. And secondly, it promised to be a fast-paced beat-em-up. It's like, okay, I'm alright with that. This is number 830 of I don't know how many, but this is not a super expensive East Asia Soft game. This cost about $50, a little more with shipping, so not unreasonable for an East Asia Soft release, because some of them can go for way more than that. Now this other one was even cheaper. It was only $35, and I'm interested in it not because it gets great reviews, but because it got bad reviews. People said it was a visual novel game without the visuals, which is pretty low in terms of what you can do for a Vita game. Like, wow, could it really be that bad? And since it was only $35, which was less than the listed price charting price, and it's probably less because of the low reviews that it gets, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give it a chance. So, listed as $50, but bought it for $35. My aunt is a witch. And part of the reason this game intrigued me, besides the bad reviews, can you see the cat wearing a witch hat there? It's a black cat, just like our cat Buddy. So, I mean, at the very worst, I've got a game featuring a black cat wearing a witch's hat. No matter how bad it is, but I'm hoping it's not really that bad. And as far as the numbering, this is 146 out of I don't know how many, but yeah, for East Asia Soft releases, definitely not the most expensive you can find out there. So let's start with Kawaii Deathu Desu. Let's break this outer seal bag, and the inner box is probably shrink wrapped. Oh, I don't know that for sure. And there's the Play Asia sticker or art card, whichever it is. But yes, we do have some additional shrink wrappage here. We are breaking the seal, folks. You know what? I should just ask Dan at Retro Protect if he makes an East Asia Soft box. He probably does. Just need to ask Dan. Oh, actually, I didn't crease it. At least not that I can see. Normally you end up with a crease right there in the middle. Okay. Kawaii Deathu Desu. What do we got in here? We've got... Now I know what number it is. 830 of 1500. That's not a lot, but it was not in demand, so it didn't go for crazy amounts of money, which I'm happy for, because Vita stuff can be really weird like that. Some goes for a lot, and some does not. Here's the actual game. For fans of fast-paced beat-em-up, you'll feel right at home. And underneath is the Kawaii Deathu Desu soundtrack. Original soundtrack by Daniel Gaber and Vita Suarez. I think that's how you would say that name. I don't really know, but I'm gonna assume it was Suarez, and if it wasn't, I am terribly sorry. So, that's the complete Kawaii Deathu Desu, and I will take this upstairs for some game. Well, I gotta take the game out if we want gameplay footage, right? Okay, so take that out, put this numbered edition card back in here, slide everything but the game back into the box, and then we can test this game. I can get this to close back up nice and neatly. That would be a bonus. There we go. Could probably even put it back in the protective baggie. What do you think? I betcha that's the best way to protective, short of having a protective box, is just to keep it in this bag that it's shipped in, which I assume was the original East Asia soft shipping, probably from Play Asia. I don't think the seller would have put this bag around it, because again, some things seem to be really standard with Play Asia releases, and boxes like this are one of those things, and bags for those boxes also seem to be one of those things. There we go. So now everything is back in here except for the game. You know what? Let's just open this game right now. Since I'm going to be testing it anyway, let's go ahead and take this one out of its packaging too. I can find a seam in the middle. Let me slide. There we go. Slide that seam. Yes. Sealed no more. Games are meant to be played, man. Oh, it actually includes a printed manual. How nice. See, this is why you open things. If no one had ever opened this, no one would have ever seen that there was actually a printed manual. It tells you about the characters, it tells you about the controls, all the trophies that you can collect. Very nice. Not a huge manual, but certainly beats no manual, and a lot of Vita games do not come with any manual at all. So now, moving on to My Aunt is a Witch, or My Aunt, depending on how you pronounce it. I'll go with Aunt for now. Once again, we've got that particular East Asia soft bag style, and the sticker / card that goes with it. And this one too has its own shrink wrap beyond just the bag. So we've got to break that open, which I will once again attempt to do very, very carefully, so as to not muck things up. I like to just make a little incision, and then once I have that, then I can make a much bigger peel in it, as opposed to trying to cut too much and poke a hole in something. And then if necessary, once you've got it loose, you can always make a secondary cut once it's no longer tight, and then it'll peel away even easier after that. There we go. My aunt is a witch. Well, she must be a very interesting person then. So what do you want to think? This is probably 1500, since the other one was 1500. Let's find out. Oh, that flap came open much easier than the last one. So, what number is this? Oh, it's 146 of 1200. All right then. Here's the actual game. My Aunt is a Witch. My Aunt is a Witch is a visual novel full of adventure and quests. Alright, let's hope so. And as before, here is a soundtrack for My Aunt is a Witch. Now, how bad can this really be if somebody actually cared enough to make a physical edition with a soundtrack and a certificate of authenticity and print it? And I know what you're saying, shovelware, anything can be printed up. There's lots of shovelware games for Wii and DS. Why can't the Vita have shovelware too? Okay, you've got a point. Could be shovelware, could be as bad as everybody says, but again, for only $35 for an East Asia soft release, I'm willing to take that gamble. So we had a slight change of venue as the AC had just kicked on and that was going to be really loud, so I'm upstairs now and I'm going to break the seal on My Aunt is a Witch, and then we're going to see what both of these games are all about. My Aunt is a Witch has been freed from the shrink wrap. And this too has a manual. Another pleasant surprise. Maybe that's just all East Asia soft games. I don't know that I've ever gotten one that didn't have a manual. Probably did at some point. It's a thicker manual than the one for Kawaii Deathu Desu, but it also lists all the trophies in the back. It's a good quality manual. It's colorful artwork. I mean, they say that it's a visual novel game that lacks in the visuals, but at least in terms of the packaging, it doesn't lack for visuals. Alright, let me get the Vita out here. We can try these games. Interesting. So how do I start? How do I? Is this a loading screen? Oh, there we go. It was just loading, I guess. Lots of loading screens, it seems. I just got completely overwhelmed there. That's what I get for mashing buttons. Anyway, it looks like it's a beat 'em up with people running toward you and behind you, and you have to juggle opponents at all times. So this looks like it'll be a fun beat 'em up, but we want to see what both of these games are about. So let's take a look at My Aunt is a Witch 2. All right. What you got for us? As I understand, this game is also out on Switch now, so if you didn't want to buy an East Asia soft version for Vita, you have choices. That's probably true of Kawaii Deathu Desu as well. They really want us to see this title screen, don't they? Okay, there we go. New game. Through the slumber, I heard voices and the engine's rattling noise. Crickstone Road. It was finally my stop. I opened my eyes and hurried to the exit. Well, it's definitely a visual novel. There's some animation here. He's walking through the forest and there are leaves falling. I wouldn't say it's completely lacking in visuals as a visual novel. That complaint might have been somewhat exaggerated. The music seems good enough. No shortage of dialogue here. And probably not going to be a whole lot of game choices as a visual novel. We might get one or two branching paths, but I don't even know if we're going to have any puzzles to solve. Sometimes visual novels are just that. You just hit a button and read, and hit a button and read, and hit a button and read. But if you enjoy the story, there's nothing wrong with that. And I feel like I'm going to enjoy this one with the witch and the black cat and the child who's going to stay with his aunt. It seems like it's going to be an interesting story. I'm Mr. MegaManFan. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for watching.